That is why Shri Hanuman to be present. Principal Siyabara Ramachandra
Bhagwan ki
Jai.
Okay, take 20 minutes.
आइए हनुमंत विराजिए कथा कहो मति अनुसार प्रेम सहित गदी धरो बधाइए पवन कुमार सियावर रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम शंकर हरि ओम. Come Hanuman, I'm about to recite Sri Ram's Katha as far as my knowledge permits me. Grant us your wisdom, your intelligence, O Sri Hanuman, so that we will be able to unfold this katha in such a manner that all would become more knowledgeable, more aware, and be able to put into practice some of these glories of your beloved Lord Prabhu Shri Ram. Please come take a lovely seat amongst us and let your divine energy radiate amongst us. For this we ask in your most holy name. Principal Pawan Putra Hanuman ki Jai. And the last day, we saw where Narad Muni brought some form of relief to that home after learning of the marriage, so to speak, of between Parvati and Lord Shankara. When they learned about Lord Shankara, their mind became flustered a bit and they were very much concerned. Narad Muni, being the person that he was, or that he is, he seeks to bring some comfort and relief to their thinking. He advised that Mother Parvati should perform devotion to the feet of Prabhu Shankara. And he gave 3 reasons. He says that Lord Shankara is the grantor of all boons. He is the reliever of all distresses of those who supplicate to him. Secondly, he is an ocean of benevolence. He is an ocean of goodwill. And thirdly, he is the delight of all his devotees. Those who would supplicate themselves to him, he becomes the life of their life. He becomes the epitome of their puja, of their worship. And then in the Doha, the last day, having said this, he fixed his mind on Lord Hari. Imagine, when he gave this final bit of advice, he fixed his mind before giving the final word upon Lord Hari, telling us that it did not just simply come from his mind, but Lord Hari, that super soul, was all there within him. It was that super soul advising and speaking to them. And he fixed his mind on Lord Hari. And Tulsidas says that he added, shed all your fears. Do not be fearful. All will be well. O Mountain King, all will be well. And we begin tonight, this morning's discourse from that point. Tulsidas says, at one time. Kahi asa Brahma Bhavan Muni Gayu, Agila Charit Sunahu Jasa Bhayu. Having spoken to them, Tulsidas said, the sage departed for Brahma abode. Brahma Bhavan means the abode of Brahma. And as he left, it gave Maina, that is the wife of the mountain king, that is Parvati's mother, and father some time to talk and to weigh in their minds what took place or what the message was. Maina did not fully understand. She did not fully capture all that Narad Muni had said. And as such, she wants to get some dilation, some expansion of what was said from her husband. So she's saying, Kahi asa Brahma Muni gayu, agila charit sunahu jasa bhayu. Having spoken like that, the sage departed to Brahma's abode, and agila charit sunahu jasa bhayu. Now hear what happened after. The poet is saying, listen to what happened thereafter. Patihi ekanta pai kaha Maina, natana mai samujhe muni baina. Finding her husband alone, that is Himalaya, she said to him, she addressed not my lord. Natana mai samujhe muni baina. He says, my lord, I did not fully understand or follow the words of the sage. So she needs some clarity. What it is he really said. You know, sometimes you sit and you listen to whatever is going on, and you didn't fully comprehend exactly all that went. Some people capture more than others. If Pandit were to give a message here, some of us would be able to relay most of it, others a partial amount, and others scarcely any amount. And that is because of the level of our intelligence, the level of our participation in what was taking place. So Maina, she was more concerned about her daughter and what was taking place. And perhaps because of this, her mind was not fully engaged in what Narad Muni was saying. So Tulsidas tells us in Chaupai what was happening. He says, my lord, I did not fully understand, I did not fully follow the sage. So he says, Jo dharu baru kulu hoi anupa kariya bibahu sutta anurupa. Listen what he's saying. She says, if the bridegroom to be, that is Lord Shankara, his household and his family, if they be noble people, he said, and if they are worthy of our daughter, he then says, arrange the marriage. Now, a mother is always very deeply concerned because she knows when her daughter leaves her home, the kind of care and attention that she gave her daughter, she would like the same to be given when she goes to her new home. So he says, if that home is worthy, if Lord Shankara is worthy of our daughter, then by all means, let the marriage take place. Also, Nata Kanya Baru Rahu Kuari Kanta Uma Mama Prana Piyare. She is saying, if on the other hand, it is not worthy in your judgment, in your assessment, if it is not worthy, then it is better that she remains a maiden. Over here is Kanya. When you give the Kanya Dan, Kanya refers to a young lady, the maiden, so to speak. One who is not yet fully developed is a Kanya. So he said, let her remain a Kanya. If those circumstances are not ready or not there to accommodate our daughter, then let her remain a Kanya. And she said, Kant Uma Mama Prana Pyaro. Uma refers to Mother Parvati. Mama means mine. Prana Pyare. Pran means life. Pyare means that love of my life. So he's saying, my daughter is the love of my life. And as such, wherever she goes, I want to ensure that he's extremely happy. Which parent is not concerned like that? So the Ramayan is a living lesson. It's a situation that all of us find ourselves in. And that is why This is the hallmark of one's life. When one goes through this and sift what is being taught, actually it is our lifespan every day, what is taking place in our lives every day. And this gives the kind of teaching that we must abide by in order to have the fullest of life. You see, Sri Ram went through a great deal of difficulties, telling us he is the Prince of Ayodhya, he's Lord God Almighty incarnate. But he showed man in the trials of life, this is all that will take place. But he didn't give up, in spite of all that had happened. Imagine your father promised you the kingdom. Now, 3 hours after, he tells you, well, you can't get it, you have to go to the forest. And Raja Jaswat is telling his trusted servant, Sumanta, he says, Sumanta, you know what happened? He said, you know what bothered me most? When I told him that he had to go to the forest, he never uttered a word or did not show me any form of disgust.
Not rebellion.
He never rebelled in any way. He accepted it with the greatest honor, and he decided to uphold the dignity of my word. That is the greatest. He upheld the dignity. He could have said, that is your business, You want cake, that's your business. I don't care. He did not do that. And that is the greatness and the hallmark of Sri Rama. He honored to the letter everything that his father had promised. And he made his father stand tall because of his action. And that is the nature of a true son or a true child.
Mm-hmm.
That dignity and honor was upheld by the son to put the father, to lift the father to the highest level. So she's saying that she is the maiden, the love of my life. And I am deeply interested to see that her welfare is always taken care of. And we go on to the next two top. I do that things. कही परी चरण धरि सीसा जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम बोल सहित सजय हरि सीसा जय राम Jahi Jogu Girijada Sahachakahahi Sabulogu. Maina is telling the mountain king. He says, if we fail to get a spouse worthy of Girija, in other words, if we fail to get a person suitable for our daughter Girija, then everyone will say that the mountain king is himself an utter fool. If we don't get someone who is worthy of our daughter, then everybody will begin to laugh. They'll, talk of you differently, say that you are not a fool. And sometimes in the pursuit of life, we think of what other people say about us. We spend too much time in thinking what other people will think, and forget to think that we are the ones who involved. We should think, forget what other people think. Other people never ever think the way you want them to think. Other people see things differently from how you see it. Once you are there, you know how to operate. You know what you're experiencing. And in this way, forget what other people think. He says, Soi bichar pati karehu bidai. Bichar is to think deeply. He's saying, keep this in mind, think about it, my Lord, and so arrange a marriage. Jehina bahori hoi odadahu. Arrange a marriage such that there will be no heart burning later. In other words, do what is best so that even later on, we will have nothing to think about or to regret. Do what is good now so that you will never regret later. And that is sound advice. So he says, Asaka hipari charan dhari sisa bole sahit sneha girisa. Now Maina is talking to her husband. And this is allowing herself everything, giving out everything, so that he will be able to understand where she is coming from. And these are the doubts that were in her mind whilst Narad was there. But Narad having left, she found it was opportune now for me to let my husband know exactly what my thoughts are. So that's what she's doing. So asaka hipari charan dharisisa bole sahit sneha girisa. Sneha means love. So saying, Maina laid herself prostrate. She put her head at the feet of her husband. Bole sahit sneha girisa. She tells the mountain king, is in a very affectionate way. Sneha, she replied. In fact, in a very loving way, the mountain king Himalaya replied. And I want you to get this morning. This is a specific reference he made. I want to make sure that you understand it as I understand it. He says, Barupa wak pragatay sasimaru mahi Narad bachan anyata nahi. Now this first part, Barupa wak pragatay sasimahi. He says, it is possible that the moon may emit flames of fire. Now, all literature, all scriptures in describing the moon talks of its coolness. Chandrama is cool. When you look at the moon in its fullest glory in a full moon night, everybody wants to go and take a walk. Mother Nature takes on a different outlook in the brilliance and magnificence of the full moon. He's saying, Maina, that is his wife that was Maina, it is possible that the moon may emit flames, but that will never happen. That is impossible. He said, but the possibility exists that the moon can emit flames. But what does not exist is this. Narad bachan anyata nahi. Narad bachan means the words of Narad. The words of Narad can ever be untrue. That prophecy Narad gave could never prove untrue. The moon may be untrue by emitting fire, and that will never happen. But there is that possibility. But the possibility of Narad's word not being true is nil, zero. Narad's word is Narad's. And when he was about to leave, he sumire Lord Vishnu from heaven. Deeply, his mind was with him before he gave his final departure words. And that tells us something, that he is a profound sage. He's not an ordinary person. His words can never be untrue. And I bring my lesson to end this morning with Doha Tulsidas. He tries to bring some comfort now to Maina. This is what he says in Doha. Priya, so chu Priya. Priya is a loving way of addressing my dear. So chu pariharehu sabu sumirahu Sri Bhagavan. It says, lay aside all your anxiety, all your fears, remove it, my dear. And sumirahu Sri Bhagavan. Sumirahu. Think deeply or fix your thoughts on the Lord, Sri Bhagavan. Fix your thoughts on the divine. And indeed, all of us, whenever we are in that kind of problem, what should we do? Fix our thoughts on the lotus feet of the divine. He has all the answers. Lay your problem at his feet, and he gives you the answers. He says, Parvati nirbhayu jehi so karihi karya. He says that he who created Parvati will bring all to good effect. We are the creations of the divine, and he has made provision for all of us. He gave us air to breathe. We don't pay for that. He gave us the sunshine, the moonlight. He gave us plenty in terms of food. The earth produces, Mother Earth produces everything that we need. And if we don't plant, we can't reap. Some people just want to have everything, but one has to make an effort in order to get the returns. So the Lord has made that provision. He has brought Mother Parvati, and because of that, he makes provision. He has brought all of us into the universe, and he makes provision for all of us. That is why we should continually sumire Sri Bhagavan. At all times, service him. प्रेम से बोलो सियावर रामचंद्र
भगवान की जय।